All right, let's talk about nested loops. All right, nested loops. So sometimes we would like to have a nested loops. Um, so especially if we deal if we are considering matrix functions. All right. So for example, let's create a matrix like 4 by 4. Okay, and let's say 1, 2, 6, 3. Then we have the second row, which is 4, 8, 2, 1. All right, the third column, 12, 18, 3, 5. All right, and then we could have 6, 4, 2, 13. All right, and that will be it. Okay, so we have created like a matrix which is 4 rows and 4 columns. We could use, for example, max if you need to know the max number of x. All right, first of all, let's do the CLC clear. Okay, and let's run it and give it to okay, a title or name for the file. So we'll say nested loops, for example, nested loops. That's fine, and let's run it. Okay, let's here Control C, clear CLC. That's fine. Let's run this file now. So this is the matrix 4 by 4, and here we have the 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 max. So what did it calculated the maximum for this column 12, the maximum for this column is 18, and the maximum for this column, which is 6, and the maximum for this column is 13. Okay, uh, so 12, 18, 16, and 13. All right. We could, if we need to know the max of all of these, we could loop through it. So we could, for example, in here, we could say we need to know the rows, how many rows we have, and how many columns we have. Columns, how many rows and how many columns we have. Um, and all we have to use the command or the functional size of x. Size of x, it will tell us, size of x will tell us what is the size of the matrix x. All right, let's just run it for, okay, so we have 4 rows and we have 4 columns, right? 4 rows and 4 columns. All right, so we could loop through the rows first and through the columns first and then through the rows. So we have to have two nested loops to do that. So let's do it. Okay, let's do it in here. So for k equals 1, all right, to the columns. How many columns we have? 4. So we're gonna loop 4 times through the column. So we start with a column 1, then column 2, then column 3, then column 4. And we would like to know the maximum, okay, of k, okay, a maximum of k, okay, equals, we start with maximum of k, I'm sorry, equals, all right, x of the first uh, um, row, and now we're gonna check it row by row, right? And the column and the column, okay, and the column. So again, what we are doing now, we are looping through the column. So the first column, this is the first column, then we start with I mean the first column, we're gonna use the row 1, row 1, column 1, row 2, I mean that's how it will loop. row 1, column 1, row 1, column 2, row 1, column 3, row 1, column 4. Alright, so we'll be checking basically this one in here to find what is the maximum. Alright, then we could create a nested f statement in here. So f so f the x of, okay, of x of j. We have to first we have to loop again. We have to have a nested loop with through the columns, through the rows now. So for, okay, j equals 1 to the rows, okay, rows, through the rows now, row 1, row 2, row 3. All right, um, so so we're gonna check the number, okay, if yeah, so um, f um, if the x of j and k greater than the maximum of k, okay, if that value is greater than maximum of k, okay, then you have to switch them. You say maximum of k equals x of j comma k. All right, and you display, you hide this, and then you have end, and then after that you're gonna say the maximum, okay, the maximum send the maximum will be sent to the screen. Maximum it will be sent to the screen. Okay, the maximum will be sent to the screen. All right, so that's what it is. So let's check what will happen here. Okay, so we have columns 4 and 4, and so did I save it? Let me save it. All right, let's say here CLC clear. Okay, let's run it. All right, so in here the maximum will be 12, 18, 6, and 13 through the loops. Will tell you the maximum for each column. So in here we had nested loops, and instead of using like one command, which is the max, you could have nested loops, and you could, for example, if you need to change a value or whatever. Again, what we did in here, we have a matrix. All right, let's okay, let's comment this. Okay, okay, so let's comment this. Okay, so you have, okay, the number of rows, and then we determine the rows and columns, and then first we loop through the columns. So we loop through the first column. So we're gonna start with first column in here. Then after that we will loop through the rows. So we're gonna go 1, 4, 12, 6, and every time we'll check if j and k greater than the maximum k. All right, then the maximum of k, okay, uh, the maximum of k at the beginning will be the first value. If it's greater, then you switch them and you loop again until the end. You end up with the maximum of k, and that will be the maximum of that value. All right, so so and you know, the maximum of k, if the x j k, so j is the row, k is a column, is greater than that, then make it the maximum, then switch them, and here we'll switch them. always keep the maximum value in that maximum vector, in that maximum um, vector. All right, and then you loop back, you loop back to the next column. You loop back, so you finish in here. This loop, you're gonna go to the next column, and uh, you continue the process until the end, until the end, and you'll have the results. So that's how its nested loops work. You know, it will be very